What if you could connect to the internet without a cable, fiber line, or cell tower? Instead, your connection came from thousands of satellites flying hundreds of kilometers above Earth. It sounds like science fiction, but it's already happening. So how does internet from space actually work? And could satellites eventually change the way the entire world gets online? How can the internet come from space? The basic idea is surprisingly simple. A satellite receives data from Earth, sends it through space, and delivers it back to another location. Traditionally, satellite internet used satellites in geostationary orbit, extremely far above Earth. The advantage? One satellite can cover a huge area. The problem? The enormous distance creates noticeable communication delays. That's where a newer generation of satellites comes in. Companies are now deploying large constellations of satellites in low Earth orbit, or LEO. Instead of having a few satellites extremely far away, there can be thousands much closer to Earth. This dramatically reduces the distance the signal has to travel. That means lower latency, and potentially a much more responsive internet connection. This technology is already being used to connect homes, businesses, ships, aircraft, and remote communities. Why is this a big deal? Think about places where traditional internet infrastructure is difficult or expensive to build. Remote villages, mountains, deserts, islands, ships in the middle of the ocean. Running fiber optic cables or building cell towers everywhere isn't always practical. Satellites can reach many of these locations without requiring a physical cable to every home. That could help bring high-speed connectivity to places that previously had limited or unreliable internet access. How does your data reach space? Imagine you're watching a video. Your device sends a request to a nearby satellite terminal. The terminal communicates with the satellite overhead. The satellite can then relay that information toward another satellite or a ground station connected to the wider internet. The data travels through this network and eventually reaches the server providing your video. Then the process happens in reverse. And all of this can happen in fractions of a second. Here's where things get even more interesting. Some modern satellite networks use laser links to communicate directly between satellites. Instead of sending every piece of information down to Earth immediately, satellites can pass data between one another while orbiting the planet. That creates something resembling a giant network in space. In the future, this could make satellite networks faster, more flexible, and potentially useful for communications far beyond traditional home internet. There's a downside. Thousands of satellites mean thousands of objects in orbit. That raises concerns about space debris, collisions, astronomy, radio frequency coordination, and the long-term sustainability of Earth's orbital environment. So the challenge isn't simply, can we put internet in space? We already can. The bigger question is, how do we build a huge network in space without making orbit dangerously crowded? The internet was once something that existed almost entirely on Earth. Now, part of the internet is moving into space. And as satellite technology improves, getting online may no longer depend on where you live, or even whether you're on Earth. The next generation of the internet could literally be above our heads. Subscribe to Explain That Fast for more quick explainers about technology, science, space, and the future. Like what you saw? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the next video.